Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of The Atelier with your host, MJ. Today, I bring you the most random, crazy, weird, innovative, new. I really don't know how to describe it, but it's something crazy that you would never imagine. And I say random not because I did not prepare it, but because when I was searching about the different types of art, which we discussed in last episode, if you haven't listened to it, I recommend you to go back to that episode and listen to it before this one. And so, well, let's continue. I found this form, which I didn't know of. And you probably already know which one it is because of the title, but still, it's the Vietnamese art. Have you heard about it? Because I really, as I said, it's so crazy. I had never heard about it. Like, really. So, let me explain a little bit about it. So, as the name says it, it's a technique that comes from Vietnam. And it has become very popular because of the poetic themes and vigorous colors. It comes from those paintings and drawings that were made on rice paper, but not any rice paper, but a homemade rice paper, and it actually focuses on showing elegance and softness, which I love. Now that I've learned about this type of painting, I love them because precisely of the elegance and softness that it shows. I love everything that is elegant. That's how I plan my everything to come as. Very elegant, soft, nice, very delicate. So that's why I love it and hope you do as well. But let me keep going. Let's continue talking about it. So the key to be able to make a successful silk painting depends on the silk quality. But fun fact, usually you don't paint on the silk canvas, but rather they use it as the background of the painting. And I mean, that's pretty confusing if you ask me. But it is a technique that works pretty well for this type of art. So now let's continue and let me tell you what it usually looks like a painting of this type. So you will usually find landscape or pagodas or historical events, and sometimes you can even find paintings that show scenes of the daily life, but that's not very common. Same thing as portraits. But mostly people try to paint nature itself. So now about the colors, it mostly uses white because it is a delicate and you will find it in the sky, in the water, or sometimes, as I told you, when they paint human portraits, which is very rare, you will find it in the color of the skin. But something you will notice is that that color is not paint, but actually it is going to be the background color. And as I told you, the background is the silk. So what you will find is the color of the silk. And that is crazy because I've never seen an art so different and so unique like this one that makes something so confusing but at the same time so obvious. It's pretty cool. But well, it is done like this for a reason. This color describes the human figure, and this is something that is commonly known among famous Vietnamese artists. They use the color of the background or delicate colors to give harmony with nature. So just like any type of art, the silk painting have many styles, and if you're going to paint with any of these styles, you must know to the T the materials you will use to be able to show its shininess and attractiveness, and well, everything must be perfect, just like bakery. If you mess up, you mess up. And I would say you must know perfectly well how to use them, the colors, because the artist who works this art, they don't usually use normal paint, but instead they sometimes use acid dyes, which is a little bit rare. They have to make the mixture with water and the acid dye powder and measure it until they get the color they want. But it is not as simple as it looks. Sometimes they also use natural products like bamboo charcoal. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but they use that to get the black color. Sometimes the indigo leaves to get the green color, and when they use white, they get it from the scallops, if they use white and not as the traditional way does it with the silk canvas. But well, nowadays, many artists also use tempera or color powders, color chalk, and they try to get watercolors. But the traditional way, it's with acid dyes, it's pretty rare. So I recommend you watching a YouTube video that it's called How Was It Made? Silk Painting. And in here, you will understand a little bit better the process behind everything. And I mean everything because they do the painting from zero. They have nothing and then they end up with a very nice painting, and they will show you the process. And sometimes if you pay a lot of attention, you can actually understand better how they do it and learn a little bit more about the Vietnamese silk painting art. One thing you will definitely notice when you watch that video is that you can't make mistakes like at all. And this is why this art is so precious and delicate and rare. Yet again, it's rare, yes. If you make mistakes, there's no going back, and you will have to start all over again. It's so, really so delicate, and like, if you make a mistake, or either you rearrange it and make something new out of it, or start all over. Well, lastly, I would like to say that the silk in Vietnam is an extremely important language. If you practice this technique, you will find interesting how the capacity of absorption and dilution of the silk gives the painting a sense of mellowness and a vibration to the shapes and colors. It's so cool. And if you like to see these types of painting, you will be able to find a lot of them in the Vietnam History Museum. And you can find more of this topic in there. Well, after all, it's the Vietnamese History Museum. And something pretty interesting is that people pass their traditions. So this painting, just like any other art in any traditional way, was passed through traditions, and there were no schools that would teach you this, or there were no colleges or anything. And it happens literally just like in any Asian community. There was not a center that would teach you about this, but rather like grandmas would pass the information through generations until, well, nowadays, where everything is known, like there are no secrets. But, well, not only the word was spread, but now literally you can find anything. If you have a technological device and internet, then you will get unlimited information about anything. Skills or you want to learn, skills you want to learn, or information you want to know. So it's so cool. There are no secrets in this world anymore, I guess. Well, not really, but let's keep on track. Although this type of art comes from a very, very long time ago, it reached its peak of success during the 1930s, and later on in life, there was an evolution of the silk painting, when some artist from Indochina, I hope I'm saying this correctly because I want to let you know English is my second language, but I love it so much that I'm doing this for you guys. So it had a variation and evolution with some artists from Indochina. Oh, from the Indochina Fine Arts College. That's it. Yeah, I think I'm saying it right. And they combined the influence from the Western art and the Oriental aesthetic. So it actually evolved and it changed a little bit, but the normal one, the traditional one, is the one that I was explaining. So one of the most recognized paintings around the world, and the one that introduced the silk painting art to Europe, is the Playing Tug of War. That's the name of the art of the painting. This painting was made by Nguyen Phan Chanh, and again, I'm not sure if I'm saying this correctly or even similar to what I'm supposed to say it. But I will leave the name down below in case you want to look at it. And something I will quote from the Nguyen Art Gallery is that it says, "This painting is rated as a work of high artistic value and has an exotic beauty." And it really certainly do. It's so beautiful. It's so simple, but at the same time you love it every single time you look at it. So I'm not going to discuss with that because it's so true. Well, I love that it is a form of art that may not be as recognized in my country. I mean, well, after all, I had never heard about it, and I loved learning about it and being able to understand the secret behind the painting. So, guys, this was it for today, and I really hope you enjoyed it, and that you enjoyed as much as I did learning about the Vietnamese folk painting. But it's time to go. If you have any suggestions, you can leave them in my comments or DM me to @the_atelier_podcast, and I'll be checking your comments. Thank you for listening to this podcast, and a special thank you to everyone who commented the paint palette emoji in the last week's episode. If you made it this far, comment a genie emoji. And well, that's it for today. That's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it and see you next time. Bye!